Happy last 15 minutes of Friday night. Welcome back for those of you who were with us earlier this evening for our Star Trek Subspace Rhapsody review for Star Trek Weekly. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, Poindexter Lounge, semi-overnighter. Basically, this is going to be an open night mic type of thing to where just you guys have any questions. And there are no such thing as stupid questions, by the way. Pretty much here to answer anything that you guys feel worth the time to ask me at this point. Slipped a couple of my allergy pills, so feeling kind of loopy. Not exactly tired yet, but kind of loopy. Got a little burst of energy. I don't know where the hell it came from, but like I said, I guess being able to breathe helps. In combination with the fact that it just wasn't that hot today. It says it was 103, 104 today. I just didn't feel it. Maybe my body, after all these years of living here, is as some days is just prone to suffering so much that you just don't feel it anymore. But once again, it's August 4th, rolling into August 5th. SummerSlam is tonight. Tomorrow's our semi-overnighter. I have some Transformer codes, Transformer Rise of the Beast digital codes to give away tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow. Obviously, our weekly strike update. I was hoping that there would be something breaking today because I thought they were meeting today, but who knows? Could wake up to something new. All manner of nonsense and pop culture that's been going on this week. Like I said, I think we've driven the whole Wonder Woman thing into the ground as far as like what it means. I like I said, it's and the reboot question. I think I've already addressed that. I have as much use for the word reboot as I do for daylight savings in the springtime. And you guys, if you've been watching this show long enough and you've heard me long enough, you know I have nothing but absolute and total disgust for daylight savings when it comes around in March. Now, the daylight savings we're about to get in a couple months, that one I'm going to be on the air. We're going to cheer that one. That needs to be the very last daylight savings, the one that falls back and gives us back the hour that we were robbed of. But yeah, I put reboot up in the same word as that one. I expressed last night what I thought about, people who think, I just think they think in error that if they don't blow up everything, that whatever's left is going to confuse people. I just don't think us fans are that dumb, and I don't think the writers are that bereft of talent. So, did all day gave away tickets to Last Voyage of the Demeter, which looks amazing. A vampire movie that actually looks like a vampire movie. I'm going to go see that next Wednesday. I've been giving away T-shirts and stuff about it. We're still giving away Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff for all of those local people in Las Vegas that have little kids that want to put on the turtle mask. For all of you adults that want to put on the turtle mask, come by the Sci-Fi Center. I have posters and masks for you. I have a brand new. I don't know why I didn't get this the first time around. Another Oppenheimer poster and a bunch of shirts I've been giving out all day today as well. So I love promoting movies, not only because you just get to give free stuff away, but I know a lot of these guys, movies are expensive right now. And for some of the people that we take along with us, that's going to be the only way that they can take, some people to the movies, given financial situations. So I'm going to be there for this one. I missed the Meg pool party last night, but, the Meg has a 27% Rotten Tomatoes rating, which for the Meg is probably about 2 points higher than it should be. But you know what? Rotten Tomatoes and critic scores don't matter for a movie like the Meg. If you went in there looking for Scorsese, you're a fool. Sorry. All right, let's look at some of the chats and see who's here tonight. Daylight savings. Because listen, I can. The initial crime that was Howard the Duck happened to me in 1986. It doesn't get better with age, but I can always not watch Howard the Duck. I get fucked out of an hour every year. Every year. Until they get rid of this, it's guaranteed. It's like knowing you're going to get robbed and there's nothing you can do about it. You know who the burglar is. You know the exact time of night that the burglar is going to break in and steal from you, and there's nothing you can do but, without hope, chase that burglar for the next 6 months until he has no other choice but to give you back your hour. Howard the Duck is just a bad movie. Daylight savings is an annual crime. So there is no comparison. Hal Jordan, what's up? How are you doing? What's going on, Fourth? Oh, by the way, if you guys get a chance, if you ever want to donate, drop a couple bucks towards me to the ramen fund or whatever it is, as we make our show better. I'm getting better, believe it or not. The reason why you don't see me right now is because I only move stuff out of the way for the Star Trek show right now. All my stuff is still being set up. I'm getting some, I have a brand new tablet that you guys can't see right now, but it's going to help me with the chat, especially when I'm doing solo shows here. It's going to help me have a pop-out menu on the chat, and then I have the little thingamajig that allows me to transfer stuff from the tablet to the central screen. So I'm working on that, but I ran out of cords. So, all right. I'm really interested to see what happens with the Pac-12 since 2024. All they have left is Washington State, Oregon State, Cal State. Well, they're probably, like we said, we talked about this before off screen. They're probably going to end up getting some lower tier teams. I mean, there's really no other. I'm surprised. Like I said, I know the Mountain West is great, but you know what? For UNLV, that might be the perfect situation to be in the Pac-12. It all depends. It all depends on like I said. I don't think they'll dissolve the Pac-12. I don't know. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. I mean, if you'd have told me that they did, I would have been surprised. But I want to see their review though, because I'm pretty sure their review on it's hilarious. But it's a stupid. Listen, the first Meg was stupid, but it was fun stupid. I didn't feel cheated stupid. I go into the Meg when I go see it. I go into fully expect complete ridiculousness and a horrible story, and all the budget is on the shark. That's it. But once again, it's Jason Statham, man. I'll go see Jason Statham in anything. Like I told you guys last night, if they make a Howard the Duck sequel and Jason Statham's in it, guess what I'm going to see? If the next Barbie has Jason Statham in it, you know what? I might have to, endure the pink. I just have a lot of fun watching him do his thing, man. I mean, I can't tell you every movie he's been in has been great, but they've been fun. They've been worth it. He makes it worth it, man. How you doing, Jacob? All right, so we got a lot of Snyderverse related surprises on that, and it's definitely making the waves with the strike ongoing. What are your thoughts on that? Like I said, in particular what you're talking about. If we're talking about Zack Snyder, say endorsing Blue Beetle, he's a comic book director. He's a nice guy. He just does that for people. It's gonna be, it'll help with that movie. So a lot of people were like trying to read a lot into that. I'm like, it's just a director of superhero movies and fantasy movies, giving a nod to, be honest with you, a universe he helped get going. I mean, we can't be all, not all too happy about where it necessarily went, but we're still existing in his world until something else comes along. So, the Ben Affleck movie stuff that got leaked out, it's just a reminder of just how bad and poorly things were handled. I would love to see that in some form. Be honest with you. I mean, if they can do it in Dark Knight Returns type animation, I would love to see it. I mean, I would love to see it in live action, but like I said, I don't know if WBD and DC Films is going to get things going in the same way that they thought they were going to get things going. I really think that the strike may end up causing the elimination of certain things, because I just can't believe that if the producers give any inches and any concessions, that money is going to come out of their pocket. I think we're going to see projects compromised, either eliminated altogether, or we're going to see them abbreviated to the point where they are not what we were expecting when they were announced. So depending on how long this strike lasts, who knows? But like I said, I saw the Twitter, the Variety article, and I saw a lot of the tweets and a lot of the response after that, and I saw the Flashpoint plans that Zach had allegedly planned. And it just, like I said, I think Film Junkie put it perfectly. If they would have just let him do his thing, Zack Snyder already had built in the end of his universe. And it just, I know these guys are all gone. It just really, doesn't do much to harp on, a man that is gone. But you kind of see the same mistakes, not as bad and as egregious, but sort of the same oversights happening with the incoming guys. So it's unfortunate. And I always say good management is very, very important. Picking the right people to run your franchises and your company. I don't care how long it takes you to make that decision, but you got to make the right decision, because making the wrong decisions, getting the wrong people in power and in over projects has devastating consequences that are lasting a long time. One bad decision back in 2016 is why we're trying to figure out what the hell's heads or tails when it comes to DC. And it's I don't like I said, all we can do is just wait out the situation. I mean, I always hear the people on Twitter and on YouTube say this isn't coming back. You guys should move on. Move on to what? We got 3 years of what? Because like I said, 2025 release for Legacy, I can't believe that's happening. They got a lot of ground to make up if that's going to happen, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it was ever going to happen. So what am I moving on to? 3 years of struggling to, stay connected to DC. What am I moving on to? Next somebody tells you need to move on. Literally, 2 words response to what? Well, James Gunn. I mean, I listen. All the stuff he has planned sounds exciting, but 2026, and I don't know when in 2026 we're talking about, depending on how long this strike happens. How many things change during the strike? How many of these people are under contract or did sign contracts for these roles before the strike happened? Because if this strike lasts a while and situations change and studio attitudes change, if nobody's under contract, then they don't really, whoever you announce, they could get better offers from something else. I mean, I don't know what the contract situations is. I know there's commitments involved, but all these things got announced as far as actors, like Cornswell, all got to bam, then here's a strike. So, and I feared when we came out of Comic-Con that from the point I stepped out off the plane coming back to Vegas from San Diego, that we were looking at, from that point, a 6 to 9 months from that point strike. And that's not including what we're already going through with the WGA. Hell, I haven't been able to watch my nighttime shows in months. So beware. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of dumb news to talk about because there's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing coming out. Everything's been delayed. And so now you're going to see a lot of the rumors come out. Some of them will be partially credible, but with nobody talking and nobody, representing right now, it's just a bunch of white noise. So. William, thought on WGA, AMTP can't agree to resume negotiations. Yeah, no surprise there. I hope I'm wrong, guys. I really hope that we're not talking 6 to 9 months of the strike. And I'm talking, so now we're in 8. So we're talking April of next year minimum that we might be on still on strike. And if it's 9 months, we're talking well into next summer. I can't see the industry, even the studios who think they can recover from this. Like I said, whenever you give people time to forget about you, they do. Now, they'll always come back into some degree. But when you have a work stoppage, no matter what it is, look at 1994. The work stoppage that cost Major League Baseball a World Series. Look at 2005, a work stoppage that cost the NHL a Stanley Cup playoffs. It took 3 to 5 years for people to gravitate back to those sports. And in the case of baseball, if it wasn't for Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire's home run race, they wouldn't have come back then. So when you give people time like this, they get accustomed to other things. They'll always come back to you to a certain degree, but can you afford for them to come back in 25% capacity? I mean, I think this strike could do a lot of damage, like 2 or 3 years down the line damage. Because if the fans and the moviegoers don't come back in the droves like they need to, you're changing the entire financial dynamic of these studios. And all these projects and stuff that people are looking for, including some I really need to see happen, are could end up on the back burner. So yeah, how you doing, Daniel? What's going on? Jacob, William, thoughts and Seth Rollins has spoken about joining Captain America 4. Obviously, the photographs have made their way online. Nothing to be done about that, but it's a very good experience for me. You know what? I think the WWE product is not my favorite as among the wrestling world. I think I've stated that numerous times before, but I think that Seth Rollins is one of those five-tool tremendous talents. I think he's going to be one of the ones that once he gets wrestling out of his blood and he physically is tired of the grind, I think he's one of those ones that can do a really good job acting. He's got everything. He's got the charisma. He's made this ridiculous pimp-like gimmick that he's been on for a while. He's made that actually something very watchable. He's very good in the ring. He is a top-tier talent. He's capable of both carrying a feud and putting someone over. So I really like Seth Rollins, and I think he will do great in Hollywood when he gets there. I just watched Meg 1 for the first time last week. Poor Jason Statham starring, clearly trying to fund it. Oh, it's horrible, but it's maybe what is I think it's the term guilty pleasure is what I'm looking for. And plus, I just like watching Jason Statham. You pick a good movie. You pick a movie that he's in, and like I said, you pick the crappiest movies that he's in, and I will make my case with the fact that Jason Statham's in it. He's just fun to watch for some reason for me. And like I said, I'm going into Meg 2 clearly knowing that this movie is going to be awful, but I know I'm going to have fun because Jason Statham's in it. Just certain people just deliver for me, Jason Statham shared, yeah, man. Yeah, do green screen where it's just Jason Statham fighting Jason Statham, and the main villain is Jason Statham, and the love interest is, depending on what kind of movie, it could be him. Or do a deep fake with a female Jason Statham, and they can all do his martial arts move. William thought on WB tried to introduce a deal for Greta Gerwig to direct Barbie 2 months before the first movie release. Her agency halted talks on a deal until Barbie released in theaters. Good move by her agents. Because now they have the leverage of a movie that's going to make $1 billion to renegotiate with. Good move on their part. Last time I liked Statham was Transporter 1. Transporter 1 was one of my favorite ones. I love that movie. Like I said, that movie has a lot of issues, but it's just fun. But literally, I mean, he's in everything he's in. I've had fun with. So. William thought of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling did not have deals with their original contracts to return for Barbie 2. That's just the way Warner Brothers has done things. Remember, I had the same problem with what they did with Dune. I mean, they could have shot Dune 1 and 2 together, but they didn't have enough faith in Dune 1 to do that with. But, that's how they do things. And they wait too late to negotiate, and they give all their power over to the star who can now rake them over the coals if they want to. And we got Andy Muschietti instead of poor Affleck. Now, I like Andy Muschietti, but if I had to choose between the two for a Batman movie, I'm clearly going to choose Ben Affleck. Boy, I thought Dwayne Johnson reflects on not moving forward as back. I haven't read the article. But I guess you're going to go. Tell me. He says you have people coming in, creatively, physically make decisions that you may not agree with. So I think Black Adam was one of those movies that got caught in the web of leadership. He's exactly right. And it's not just Black Adam that got caught in the web of the entire DC universe got caught up in the web of new leadership. And like I said, I will always stand on this. As much as I may be looking forward to some of the stuff that James Gunn has coming on, the way that his introduction into DC and the way that Zazoff and them handled this was absolutely abysmal, and it's going to have consequences. So, old WB regime really ruined DC label. Yeah. William thought that Emily Blunt has read a script for Edge of Tomorrow sequel and wants to make it happen. Many How many Mission Impossibles does Tom Cruise need? Come on up. He's got you now. You heard the man say he wants to be doing it until he's Harrison Ford's age, and that's 80. But that doesn't mean he can't do other movies. He's superhuman. He doesn't age. I don't even think he needs oxygen anymore. Literally, I think you could just throw him out in space and he could just literally act in the vacuum of open space. So I would love to see Edge tomorrow. I think that's one of his better films. I love Emily Blunt and just about everything she's in. I just realized that I've seen her in a lot of stuff, and she's been one of the best parts of everything that she's done, except for Oppenheimer, where she's one of the best parts. But like I said, Cillian Murphy and he would better be Academy Award winning Robert Downey Jr. put on a masterful performance. Everything about that movie, like I said, not a Chris Nolan fan, except for Dunkirk. As far as from opening credits to end credits, loving a certain movie, and but this movie right here, Until I See Dune, right now should stack up Oscars. Emily Blunt should be nominated for Best Supporting. Robert Downey Jr. should be nominated for Best Supporting. Cillian Murphy, arguably for Best Actor. Best Director, like I said, not a fan overall, but this particular movie he deserves right now at this moment. And then until I can see Dune 2, if it gets released this year, right now that would have to go to Christopher Nolan for all the movies I've seen. Now, if you guys want to throw Barbie in there and all that, that's a fair toss in. I have not seen Barbie. I have no plans of seeing Barbie. So you can make the argument for Barbie. I mean, I don't know how well the film put together. I'm not a fan of Greta Gerwig. She makes movies I just don't go see. Nothing against her. I don't doubt her talent at all. She just makes movies that I have no use for. And people keep telling me, William, you need to broaden your horizons. No. 3Ds, people. 3Ds. You know what? I don't knock other movies outside of the 3Ds, but if I'm laying down money and time, I need 3Ds. I need the death. I need the dismemberment. I need the destruction. Oppenheimer gave me those. Granted, the dismemberment is not as graphic, but it's an atomic bomb. Body parts are flying. You know it. All right. I will primarily go see science fiction, horror, fantasy, and some drama. Oppenheimer fit that for me. I'm not going to see chick flicks. I'm not going to see things like Barbie. I'm not going to see human interest because I'm not interested in the humans. So Barbie's just not on the list. Just like Call Me by Your Name, not on the list. Lady Bird, another Greta Gerwig, not on the list. It's not happening. Not happening. All right, let's keep going with the questions because I still got a lot of energy going. Jacob McKenzie, BA was also affected with not being released in China. That too. And you know what would have been a lot better if they didn't have to fight to get Superman in it. If Superman was on like the banner instead of in a post credits, I think who knows, man. Who knows? William Cillian Murphy says there's no deleted scenes in Oppenheimer. The script is the movie. He knows exactly what's going to end up. That's the way Nolan does it. Nolan, I don't think there's too many director's cuts for him, right? I don't, he, like I said, I may have issues with the flow and the pace of his movies, but there's one thing about a Nolan movie. That's what you're getting. When you see a Christopher Nolan movie, he doesn't. The one thing I do like about him is he doesn't compromise. And he has enough leverage, whatever studio he's working with, to, when he went to Universal, they were going to give him anything he wanted. So I believe that 3 hours of Oppenheimer is what Christopher Nolan intended for me to see. I hope the strike wipes away Gunn's plan. It doesn't sound good at all. WBD, these should just do the problem stories in 2 and 3 installments and then move on to another story. That's going bankrupt. They're just not going to do that. They want to weave this web because that's where the money is. And see, I heard a lot of people say this, and I'll go beyond what Forth just said. People think that DC should just focus on smaller this, smaller that, and individual this, individual that. That translates into bankruptcy. All right, that is just not a sustainable business plan. That's not sustainable for the fan, and that's not sustainable for the studio. I'm happy that the Batman made $780 million. I'm happy that Joker, as a standalone, made that kind of money. But first of all, those things are getting sequels. Why? Because people want more of what they see. But those two movies on that scale, on that frequency, will lead you to the poorhouse. Even if you made a trilogy of both the Joker and the Batman, and they all made $1 billion. In order to drive the business machine that is a studio, that is Warner Brothers Discovery, you need revenue on a frequency and a volume that those type of movies and plans just don't get you. They knew that. They knew as soon as they hired James Gunn, they wanted the universe. Why? Because the money says that. And what do I say about math? He doesn't lose, or they don't lose. And these standalone movies are great in the backdrop of an entire universe. You can do a separate Batman, but you better have that shared one ready. You want to do an Elseworlds Superman standalone? Cool. You better have that Justice League-centric movie ready. Otherwise, even if those single movies and smaller movies are successful, they take, what, every 3 years we're going to get a Batman? What do you mean 90 before that trilogy's over? That's just not the kind of money that these guys are interested in. So, now as far as the strike wiping out James Gunn's plan, I don't want that. But I do think that it's going to affect his plans, because I think we may, depending on how long this lasts, be in a different financial landscape for all studios. Justifications that were there prior to the strike may not be there after the strike. I hope that's not the case, but man, this strike is starting to settle in, and that's not a good thing. Hi, Ray, how are you doing? I see you posting pictures from Miami, the way I'm going to be posting pictures from San Diego forever. You know what? And I'm not a traveling guy. I don't like traveling, but once I'm in a place, once I've done the traveling, I really, my body, I think, with the allergies and everything else and the headaches and stuff since I've been back, my body is saying, William, we are from the state of California. Our lungs developed with the California air, good or bad. Our eyelids were accustomed to the type of sun that we got out of California. My body at the airport was like, can't we just stay? And I'm telling it, I'm like, I got to adult. I got to come back. I got to run a business. I got to go to work. I got bills to pay. I got things to do in Vegas. And like I said, I'm literally, my mental adult self is arguing with my physical body saying, please don't get on this plane. And now my body's punishing me. That body's not speaking to me now. I took my body from 74 degrees and brought it back to 114. If it could divorce itself from me, my body would probably leave me right now. But so I understand those pictures. Jordan, I know it's because somebody from Black Adam's cast said something stupid about China. Something, I forgot. What was the issue with China? I forgot, but it was stupid. Plus, listen, guys, there's no guarantee that any movie is going to get in China. It used to be that you were guaranteed to get in there, but there's no guarantee. They've closed their markets a lot, and there's a lot of friction between us and China. So, a lot of these movies that were made were made with China's box office in mind. Now, going forward, we may have to change those plans. The expectations and expenditures might come down if they know they don't have that China market. Smash the like button. Yeah, smash the like button. Hit the like, subscribe. If you're new to the Point Action Lounge, subscribe. Then go over to YouTube. If you're not already over there, youtube.com / at the Sci-Fi Center. We've actually been picking up on subscribers this week. We've had like 12, 13 new subscribers this week. I'm impressed. Like I said, I might not be in my 70s before I get to 1,000 subscribers. All right, let's see where I was at. I lost my place. Let's see. You guys are saying hi. Everybody's saying hi. All right, what about government intervention? I know it's just entertainment, but just good point, Shogun Order. Good point. And you may, and the studios definitely do not want this. The Actors and the Writers Guild may sue for mediation, and um, the studios don't want that because whenever you go into mediation, you got to open up your books. And like I've been telling people, listen, whatever woes the streaming industry is supposed to be going through now, I'm pretty sure that there's adjustments being made. But that cash cow is not going anywhere. They are committed to streaming. I believe, in large part, these guys are lying about a lot of their streaming, and moving, playing the shell game when it comes to the kind of revenue that they're generating, the kind of viewership, and all the ancillary, income that they're getting from all these projects. I think they're lying. I think there's certain books that you just don't have to show outside of stockholder show. They just don't have to show. But if you get, if you get taken to court and the writers and the actors say, well, these guys aren't negotiating in good faith, a judge could be like, hey, you know what? We need to see the books. If you're saying that what their offer is untenable, we need to see why. You can't say that them saying we want this percentage, is unreasonable if you're not, if I can't judge it against your profit and loss to determine whether it's, we could keep this going forever. And it's not just the actors and the writers that are going to be affected by this. Entire industries are going to be affected by this. Popcorn, candy, vendors, theaters are going to eventually get affected by this. A lot of people are going to be affected by this. So you may very well see government intervention. Right now, I think we're maybe a few months away from that. But if this goes into month 6, you may see it. I don't know what the exact rules are when it comes to mediation. I know when it comes to sports, it's a little bit different because when they sign their collective bargaining agreement, it does not allow. But I think that unions like, WGA and these other ones outside of sports, I think there are clauses in the contract that if it gets to a certain point, that they may have to get someone else involved. So, but good point to bring up. And yeah, too big to fail. Exactly. Like I said, it's not just those parties involved. It's everything that's connected to movie making that's in danger right now. Daniel Martin, we might have to repeat the Justice League Mortal movie as we might have a repeat of a lot of things. Like I said, what James Gunn may have envisioned, and Zaslav says, you know what, we're going to give you everything you need. If the financial reality is different after this strike as far as justification goes, like, okay, say for instance, some of these movies we know aren't going to make a lot of money right out of the chute, right? Not just with DC, with just movies in general. If I am making a movie and I'm like, maybe this is going to draw well in the theaters, but I know it's going to draw well on PVOD. I know we're going to make some money on physical media. I know we're going to make some money on streaming. I can justify maybe spending the money to give this a theatrical run or even making it at all. But if that financial reality changes to where that pie gets divided up in a way that's not necessarily as favorable to the producers in the studios that they want to, they may just not do certain projects. Things that are in planning and in motion, they might just say, you know what, we can no longer justify the back end money that would have been made because we got to give a little bit of that more to you. And you know what, we're greedy. We may just not make, certain things that people have been getting excited about. And that's damaging. That's going to eventually trickle down. And that's going to just suck. How you doing, Anthony Manzano, MLB? William Thon and Jay Olivia says, Rick Famuyiwa. I always mess up this name. Rick Famuyiwa. I'm sorry. Rick, I destroyed your name. The Flash movie would have laid the groundwork for Eric Thon to be the major. Yeah, I heard about that. I've heard about that a little bit before too. But yeah, like I said, if they would have just allowed this to run its course, it just would have been so much easier, on everybody. And the biggest thing about all this is it would have allowed for a credible transition into anything else you wanted to do, whether it be James Gunn, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, no matter who you had coming in after that conclusion, you would have had a credible transition to what you're doing instead of what you have now. Even without the strike, this whole thing is 50-50. It's a toss-up. But if you would have given ended things with a credible ending, you would have strengthened your hand. you wouldn't have wasted, a lot of money. They're going to waste 1.2 billion on these movies that they're going to end up. Even if Blue Beetle is somewhat a success, they've lost so much money on these other movies, and then not Black Adam, but Aquaman being delayed. I mean, if they would have had a credible transition, they could have strengthened those movies, made those movies mean something, and then we'd have been sitting getting hyped. Instead of just this 2 to 3 year void of just maybe it's going to work. It sounds good, but they set themselves up. By by like I said, I know there's a lot of people like restore the Snyderverse, restore the Snyderverse. I've never been one of those guys, other than when we got Zack Snyder's Justice League. I've always been under the hashtag resolve the Snyderverse, hashtag conclude the Snyderverse. I don't need it to last forever. I just needed not to have a sloppy ending that basically compromised your new beginning. So, yeah, they should have gone with it. Hey, Anthony, funny seeing you in the chat and a random sports YouTube channel. You might see me there too. Hey, member for 12 months. Cool. Yes, member chats do come up. Wow, they come up in here. When did they start coming up in here? Cool beans. Congratulations, Daniel Martin. I'm assuming you've been a member of the Point Action Lounge for 12 months. I thank you. Enoch thanks you, and the rest of the lounge thanks you. Oh, that's cool. They usually don't show up on here. That's pretty snazzy. All right. Well, yeah, by any chance, if the movie The Claw that is based on Kevin Von Erich is still happening? I don't know. I only heard about that a long, long time ago. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. Ask me about that tomorrow, and I'll find out for you, Anthony. But also the ancillary films, you would see some of the influences of Zoom and the rest of the Justice League. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, you could have just really used this movie to bridge the gap, but, here you go. How you doing, Beltray? One of these days, like I said, I thought Enoch would be back by now, but I guess he's still planning, getting some things done in the personal life. He is planning on coming back, but I will be doing a very rare panel soon, and I need to have you on there because, like I said, you are literally part of that whole panel thing, and I miss hearing you say trash about everything. So, Statham was awesome in Wrath of Man, Operation Fortune. Yes, he was. William, thought of Zack Snyder originally planned to conclude the DCU. Yeah, we just went over this. Yeah, I mean, just imagine how much pain and suffering we would have avoided if that would have been just allowed to happen. Also, every superhero whose friends are now enemies. It's a world that you don't want to live in. Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow is a great movie. Oh yeah. I haven't heard anything else about it, Shogun, but trust me, Tom Cruise is going to do it. He's bored. He's ran out of what else is left for him to do. Space is it. This is the final frontier. The only other thing Tom Cruise could do is literally time travel. And since he doesn't age, he doesn't need to do that. So I haven't heard anything about it, and we obviously have a strike going on. But trust me, Tom is going to outer space. Let's see. William, do you think Matt Damon gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor like you're saying? No. Well, you know what? Maybe. Wow, that would suck. Because Matt Damon is excellent in this movie. He plays Leslie Grace. He plays the 3-star general that runs the Manhattan Project on the military side. And he does a great job. Man, but Robert Downey Jr., because remember in Titanic, the lady who played the older version of Kate Winslet's character got nominated. And I think in the same, actually, they were different roles, but I think you can nominate. So I'm not sure, but that would suck for Robert Downey Jr. to lose out to a guy in his own movie. But I think Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in this movie is better than Matt Damon's. And that's not knocking Matt Damon. Matt Damon played a very believable portrayal of this role. If you ever watch the the interviews and the way Leslie Graves talks and the way he acts, Matt Damon nailed it. But Robert Downey Jr. made me want to slap the shit out of him the entire movie. He compelled me to hate his character, and he compelled me to just they put him and they filmed him in such a way, and this is another credit to Nolan, that just makes him this villain, and Robert Downey Jr. plays it. So I would think Robert Downey Jr. would win, but I don't think there's anything stopping Matt Damon from getting nominated. That's going to be a tough one. If there's any any case for a tie in a best supporting actor, this might be the year. William Thought Emily Blunt says Cillian Murphy and John Krasinski have discussed A Quiet Place 3. Oh, of course, yeah, I've heard that for quite a while. That'd be listen. I know that they're thinking about doing keeping it in the prequel area. I'm hoping that they at least delve into some new stuff. But listen, when you have two hit movies like that were great, why not? Why not make a trilogy? It's not about broadening horizons. You got to ride that algorithm. And Barbie has a, dude. Can I just put hashtag Barbie in the description and still not talk about it? And if I'm not going to go see it, I'm basically talking about stuff I don't know. I want to grow, but do I have to suffer on that level? I don't know, man. Even if you're right, I don't know. I'm bummed that I didn't get to see the Meg 2 today. Yeah, we'll see it. I mean, what do you want to go? I don't know. Sunday? Let's try Sunday. Did you know that Statham used to be in the Olympic class? Yes, I did. He actually was. There's one of these interviews or something like that where he said, "Tell us something about most people that you don't be." Tell us something about you that most people you don't know. He bought that up. Barbie was really good. It's hilarious at times. It's going to be emotional, especially if you have daughters. So I don't have daughters. And like I said, this is not me knocking Barbie. When I'm not into something, I'm just not into it, and I just don't want to invest time in things I'm not into. And I like Margot Robbie. I don't know, man. I just can't. There's just so many other movies I want to see that I haven't seen that I just can't justify sitting through that movie. William thought of Margot Robbie told Mattel in her pitch that Barbie would make $1 billion. Maybe I was overselling, but we had a movie to make. The film will pass $1 billion this weekend. As soon as they kind of announced it, I was like, this has the potential because it's Barbie. When you have certain things that are, especially big things that people engage with in multi-generations like this, it's big. It's big. Every one of these grown-ass women that went to go see Barbie knows what Barbie is. And then they drag their husbands with them. So you just had a force multiplier right there, and their kids. Hell, there are grandmothers that played with Barbie that are going to the movies in 3 generations. So, and the same thing with Mario. Mario just is a trusted brand name. It's a trusted brand name, And when you haven't mismanaged these brand names, they can make you a lot of money. Ryan Gosling stole the show at times, especially his song "I'm Just Can't." See, you're not endearing me to this movie, Like I said, Ryan Gosling got his one movie out of me, Blade Runner 2049, and he's awesome in it. I promise you, cinematic universe are old news. The time to get invested in long-term storytelling was back in 2003. Tell that to the accountants. I mean, we make sequels and continuations because the market dictates it, and they still continue to dictate it. Now, if you don't make a good movie, if you do an Ant-Man and a Wasp, then yeah, you're going to have issues. But, I still believe that the franchise is where the money is and where it's been, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. That's just me. Dolce, William, thoughts on Louis Leterrier says his scrap Incredible Hulk sequel would have had. Yeah, somebody asked me about this last night. I think it would be better than what the direction that the Hulk went down to. I just think the Hulk has been wussified and off character and off brand for quite a while now. He has been kind of torn apart to fit the Avengers narrative, and I just not enjoyed it. I hate Universal. They really don't make another Hulk movies. Instead of anything Gunplan, I'd rather see 2, 3 Dark Knight Returns live action or Batman Beyond. I would go for the Dark Knight Returns. I have zero use for a Batman Beyond. I mean, if they make it, I'll go see it. But I'm not like if I have a choice of other movies being made, I would. There's about 6 or 7 other movies that I would be like to be made as far as live action goes before Batman Beyond. I don't think Batman Beyond will do the numbers that a lot of people think that it will. Um, but you know what? Hey, if they, I'm not gonna fight it. I'm not gonna be like, you know what, that sucks. I hope they interview. If they make it, I'll go see it. You know, I mean, but I just don't think it's gonna get made anytime soon. I just don't think that studios are want to put a Batman out there that is not Bruce Wayne. I just really think that in the back of their heads, if it's not Bruce Wayne, then they're just not gonna do it. And the only reason why we got a Spider-Man that is not Peter Parker is because of it was animation. And it did so well in animation. If you ever do get a live action Spider-Man that is not Peter Parker, is going to be because the leverage and the momentum that Miles Morales built over the past 12 years. But as far as Bruce Wayne, for 80 years, it's been Bruce Wayne as Batman. Bruce Wayne as Batman. That is the brand that most general public people. Now us geeks, I can take Dick Grayson for Batman for a year. I mean, I'll go for it. But I think that the studios are afraid that the general audiences will never connect with a Batman that is not Bruce Wayne. Whether they're right or wrong, who knows? Maybe we'll get the chance. If there's any guy who's going to do it, ironically, it's the guy that you just said instead of anything Gunn planned. Gunn will probably be the guy that would take that risk. I can't see anyone else taking that risk. Williams going back at LL Cool J. Like I said, listen, every one of you guys is from somewhere, right? I mean, even if you move somewhere else, even if you live, like I've lived in longer in Vegas than I did in California, but that was my upbringing. I grew up. I was a little kid in LA. My sports connections to my teams come from LA, come from growing up in LA. You know, my aversion to blazing heat comes from growing up in LA. It's just home to me. I mean, Southern California is home now. I didn't grow up in San Diego, but still closer to Southern California than Vegas is right now. And like I said, I like Vegas. I'm here on business, but home is home. If you're from New York, you move no matter where else you move in the world. New York is your home. If you're from Minnesota, South Dakota, everywhere, if you grow up somewhere, you may call some other place your adopted home, but that one place where your upbringing came up, that's your home, That's at least it is for most people. So, yeah. I plan on using my VA loan to get a house in California or get a house here and go back and forth. You know what I mean? But if I get enough money, I would love to just have business interests in California and have a reason to go back and forth. How you doing, Larry? What's going on? I just got home from seeing Metallica. They were incredible. Happy 60th birthday to James Hetfield. I cannot believe Metallica members are hitting 60 now. Jeez. Going for the second half on Sunday. Yeah, if you ever, for you who are in heavy metal, before you or them leave this planet, you got to go see Metallica live. They put on a awesome live show. And it doesn't matter what age they are because it's not like they're jumping around the stage doing cartwheels. They're standing there, all 4 of them, and they're putting out riffs, and you can do that until you're 90. Tony Iommi's 150, and there's no – when you hear him play live, when he was playing live, you didn't hear any drop-off from that 70-year-old man to the 30-year-old man that was playing Lost Children of the Sea. I mean, it's just the same guy. And if Eddie Van Halen was still with us, he would sound just like, in 1986 Eddie Van Halen. There's just a skill that just doesn't, I don't ever see it diminishing. Now, Guns N' Roses, that's a different story. I love Guns N' Roses. All-time great band. Appetite for Destruction is one of the best rock and roll metal albums, period. But I've seen them live twice, and they sucked both times. I'm sorry. And especially now with age on them, Axl Rose does not sound the same live as he does recorded. They don't sound good. I'm sorry, but I've seen them twice. And both times, I was like, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm getting to see them in person. But wow, that sound is dreadful. And maybe it was because of where I was at when I saw them, but I saw Metallica in those same places and they rocked. So happy birthday! But yeah, I'm glad you got to see Metallica. I hope when they did one that they did the entire Canon show that they did when I was going to see them. But yeah, man, they're old. They're old as fucking surviving. Yeah, exactly. Yes, they are. But damn, I could watch Superman Legacy with a $40 million budget. I would not wish that on anyone. What are you going to do with 40 million? Hand puppets? This Big Ten situation will severely hurt some university teams and change college. Oh, hell yeah. They were one of the Power Fives, man. It just pretty much got dissolved. Did Zach say that on Junkie Stream, or did he say that in the post? Say what? For back, what's your what are you talking about? What he said about Blue Beetle, or oh, you're talking about the professors? No, that was on a post. I think that was a Jay Oliva post. So that was on a post from somebody who was talking to him. I can't remember what he said on Junkie Stream though. He may have, but the most recent news that people were bringing up is from a recent post. James Gunn is all those guys. Let's see. All right, let's see. Hey, listen. So I know this can't be. These aren't like I said. These are all Poindexter Lounge ones, which is cool. Like I said, I haven't been around long enough to have members that long. In fact, I think I have members things set up yet. I don't think it allows me to do it yet. I gotta look. Let's see. Just making sure that the Streamlab thing is working. Okay, cool. All right. Well, congratulations, Fourth. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for the support for 10 months. We all appreciate that. Daniel Martin, this is my first time seeing them. Oh, wow. That was awesome. Also, the most generous fans I've ever been at a show. Tried to bum a cig off a guy, and he ended up giving me 5. Yeah, you might be able to get just whatever you want in a Metallica crowd sometimes. Something about, well, at least when I was in Southern California, when I was in LA going to Metallica and going to heavy metal concerts, there's a camaraderie when it comes to going to those kind of concerts. And like I said, in LA, it's a melting pot. We had Mexicans, we had black people, we had white people, we had Asian people. We were all there. As I've moved to Vegas and I've gone to concerts in other parts of the world and other parts of the country, I see it's a little bit more segregated. I don't know how it was where you went tonight, Larry, but I know when I went in California, it didn't matter. We were all in that sea of people listening to Metallica. We were all listening to Seek and Destroy. We were all listening to One. We were all listening to Harvester of Star. We all knew the words, and it was just the most cathartic thing to be around people who enjoyed that music. And you just when you go to that kind of concert, you're just swept up in it, and you know everybody there is swept up in it. And it's just a cool thing. I need to get out to more concerts. And I need to get some more time to do that. Daniel Martin also shared his chicken fingers with me, just asking how they were. You know what? Chicken fingers at a Metallica concert, that's not a small feat. It's expensive. All right, let's see. All right. Tom Gunn, yeah. Sorry. What am I eating? Right now I'm eating orange chicken. It's going to be Oppenheimer and Bobby for the Oscars. Whoever wins, good luck. I can't dispute that Barbie might be up there. I don't know what for because I didn't see it, but I'll let you guys testing. Larry, can you see this message I haven't been able to post? I can see. It works for us. Okay. Maybe you were using bannable. Yeah, maybe you were using Howard the Duck. Lucky they don't ban avatars, man. The damn walrus one needs to go. Let's see. Heavy metal is universal. If you love metal music, you embrace no matter where you come from. They are my favorite kind of concerts. Yeah, like I said, but and that's where I'm at. I just when I went to see Metallica here, it was just different than it was when I saw it in Pasadena. But at different times as well. But yeah, I agree, dude. Especially with the internet and these things. When I start talking heavy metal, I don't care who's in the chat. If you know what you're talking about, we're on board, man. If you have especially when we start. I mean, the other day I was talking to somebody in the store that came in and he had a Heaven and Hell T-shirt on from what is I consider the superior era of Black Sabbath, the Ronnie James Dio era, and we were talking about my favorite Black Sabbath song, which is "Children of the Sea." I mean, I love that song. That's one of the best guitar riffs from that particular time, and it still holds up to this day. That album was released 42 years ago, and that Tony Iommi's riff in that is still sticks, man. So yeah, once you find that brotherhood, you're in it. I was like, that's $7 worth of food, and he was like, take it, bro. Yeah, once you get in that concert, you just feel just people you don't even know. You're like, you know what? You know enough about them. Listen, we all knew enough to show up at this concert. That's a lot of times that's all you need to know about people. You don't need to dive into details, anything else. You all chose to show up to a Metallica concert, an epic experience on its own, and now you're there sharing it with thousands of people. You know all that you need to know about all those thousands of people. That's the cool thing about it. Concerts used to be affordable, but now there's two. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And that's unfortunate because, like I said, when I was going to concerts, it was cheap enough. They wanted everybody to show, and if they just did more dates if they wanted more money. Now minimum concert tickets and as a band gets bigger, like Metallica back in the day, when they were in their 30s, hey, but now people are they're in their 60s. I mean, how many times they're going to tour? Is everybody going to be the Rolling Stones? So, tour till they're 90, but and Metallica doesn't even need to make new albums to tour. Most people who show up for Metallica albums are not showing up for Saint Anger or anything beyond that. They're showing up for Seek and Destroy. They're showing up for Kill 'Em All. They're showing up for Ride the Lightning. They're showing up for Master of Puppets. And you better play those songs. You could be, I don't care if you're doing the Metallica 2023 Brass Tacks Tour or whatever you want to call it. You don't have to play one song from that brand new album. But try to get out of there without playing God That Failed. Try getting out of there without playing one. You'll have a mini riot on your hands. So that's the kind of band that they are now. I'm stuck on the song "Everything She Wants" by Wham. Why? Just curious. Azteca, what's up, William? 4,000. Everybody in the chat, what's up? Everything expensive now at Beta B. Yeah, everything. You know what? Wages are still shitty. Everything's gone up. Shit, remember when the eggs were expensive and people were like, give her something she'll love, and the guy's proposing her to the lady with an egg? I mean, damn. But the wages stay the same. How is Demeter? It looks interesting, like an alien boat. Nah, we don't get to go see it until next Wednesday. But it looks awesome, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be happy about that. I want to go to Avenged Sevenfold following a reverse show next month, but $110 for 2 launch tickets, that is too much. Nothing against Avenged Sevenfold and following a reverse. Nothing against them, and that's too much for them. They're just not there. Sorry. People may listen to this in the daytime and disagree with me. I'm sorry. That's too much for that band. And on a lawn ticket, not even general admission. I'm sorry. That's too. That you're right. Williams so mean to me. The first thing I said when I met him in person was for me to fall off the balcony down the bottom. Did I say that? Let me reminisce. Hold on. First thing he said when I met him in person was for me to fall down. Okay, I don't know if those are the exact words, but I do recall you meeting your demise at the bottom of the balcony. I can't. Listen, everything's out of context now. It's late at night. It's not fair. William, I remember you saying heavy metal shows have everyone looking out for everyone, no matter what background, race, political view, because you're all there for the same. Yes, exactly. Now, like I said, even in the Vegas shows that I've been at, that seemed a little bit more not, I don't want to say segregated, but they weren't as together. They weren't as diverse when I went to the ones out here when I started going. That may have changed. So, in all fairness, but when I went in LA, and I've gone back to California to go to concerts, it's just that it's something of, and like I said, a lot of it depends on the music. I think heavy metal is a unique form of music that bonds people because it's built on an emotion that we all have. We all want to beat the hell out of people sometimes. We all want to punch a hole in the wall. We all at times are surrounded by friends, family, and relatives that get on your damn nerves. And we all need that outlet. And it's like a universal calling card to everybody. We all, and that music, it just takes all that out of you. When I used to, I used to live right down the street from where I work, and I knew I was going to be dealing with just a bunch of knuckleheads, dealing with the general public. I just knew I was going to be dealing with knucklehead managers, knucklehead anybody. I just didn't want to be near anybody, right? I would put on my headphones, and like I said, I would pop in, this is back in the tape days. I would pop in Justice for All, and every song in Justice for All is a tune that someone could get their ass beat to. All right. So by the time I got to work, I had it all out of me. So I was a little bit more docile clocking in than I was before. And that's what these concerts do. We're all there for the same thing. We're all in some way, shape, or form are feeling the same exact thing as the guys that you're surrounded by. You know what? When they're playing Unforgiven, you feel it. There's not too many different emotions that we're all gonna feel when you hear Kirk Hammett's that guitar solo that just tears apart the crowd. We're all feeling the same thing. And you can look around. You look around, you see it. And I don't know if any other music, because I don't listen to, I don't go to country music concerts. I don't go to rap. I can't speak for other types of music, but I know when I'm seeing certain bands like that, it's like you're all in that same hypnotic stage. So, and there's so much in common about why we came there for that music. So yeah, well, as soon as the guy you don't know, if you're headed to a Metallica concert, whoever you meet there is going to be, if there's a way to take down numbers and meet people online again after it's all over, then, sometimes that even happens. But it's a brotherhood, man. And only people who listen to it understand. I recently heard Wish from Nine Inch Nails. I forgot what a great song it was. Wish is excellent. Nine Inch Nails is another band that, I got to see live. And seeing him perform certain things live, seeing Nine Inch Nails perform Terrible Lies live is just awesome. Everybody's pumping their fist in the air when he starts the ending of that song. That's a blessing from William. Wow. William, did you hear they want to open like 20 Bojangles locations in Las Vegas? Another W. Yeah, there's that. And what else did they were talking about? There was a couple of different restaurants that we're getting for the very first time. That one, and there was another one. Well, I have to pull up the stories. They ended with Sad But True into Master. I feel like they're playing One and Salmon on Sunday. Oh, wow. So you're doing a two-parter. Wow. That's because they're old. I'm sorry, but they did not, back in the day, you got all that in one concert. You got your money's worth for Metallica. I don't know how much you paid, today, in today's money, but your ass was worn out when you left a Metallica concert. You may as well have been on the stage with them because they played everything. There was no real playlist. They hit it all. They hit all the major songs. And remember, most of Metallica's earlier songs are 7 to 9 minutes long. Justice for All, I think, is a 9-minute and 50-second song. Blackened is like 8 minutes. I mean, these are long-ass songs. And then they do encores. When they do when I went to go see Metallica, they did a 13-minute version of one, and half of that shit was pyro. They did like 5 minutes of pyro. Just boom. When they do that ending, boom, boom. Darkness, boom. And it's just like, and you're like, this is before I had gone into war. So I'm like, holy shit, this must be like what war is. And you felt that. Also, when I went to go see Metallica one year, This was back, I think, in '92. I know I'm old, but I'm glad I was there. Motorhead opened up with them. It was Motorhead, Guns N' Roses, and Metallica. Motorhead, the great Lemmy, thought so much of those two bands that he didn't mind being the opening act. And when they played Ace of Spades, that crowd went apeshit. He could have only come out and played that song and everybody would have been happy. They did their whole set and they were about to walk off stage and everybody was like, what the hell's going on here? And then he's like, mate, we can't leave the stage without playing this one. And you know what it is. Ace of Spades, baby. I rest in peace, Lemmy. I'm eternally grateful that I chose to go to that concert. And that even though I didn't have it's a big of appreciation that I would gain for Motorhead in my later years, I am glad that I got to see him live. Wow, am I glad that I got to see him live. Yeah, but 110, homie? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. By the way, F, following in reverse, that singer is canceled. F Event Sevenfold for making them, taking them on tour. That's right, baby. William got all his frustrations out on forced trolling. Jump off the balcony, joking. Nah, man. Obviously, we didn't follow through because sports is still here. Besides, it's only like 15 feet. He would have lived. But yeah, well, Django's any good? I'm hungry now. Nine Inch Nails is the best, especially live. Yeah, because he depending on when you go see him, he jumps around. He has his touring band, but it's generally all him. So when I went to see him one time, he was playing drums for March of Pigs. He actually played the drums because he plays it. I believe he plays it on the album. We should do a YouTube channel dedicated to William having new experiences this week. On all new episode of Will I Am, that William that listens to bluegrass. Actually, I've given bluegrass a little bit more of a chance than a lot of people think because I love heavy metal, and a lot of those guys have their origins from blues and bluegrass. If you listen carefully, certain performers, you can listen to that lineage. So I even gave country music a chance because of the electric guitar. Once you listen to a musical preference that is driven by a guitar, you tend to listen to other musical ones that are driven by guitar. I was actually cheaper for 2 days and 1 day. Lars knows what he's doing. That's how I filled the crowd each night. Wow. Lars is a damn genius. Yeah, except for when he went after Napster. Yeah, Lemmy, boy. I got to make it down to the Rainbow Bar and Grill and get my picture next to that statue. My last concert was the Ninja Turtles coming out of your shell. Sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and forget that I highlighted that. Oh, my goodness, Larry. Come on, guys. What are you doing? They were literally turtles up there playing instruments. Oh, geez. I really enjoyed that Lemmy video where the black kid wrote in. Oh, yes. I that's, you know what? And it's simple shit like that, dude, that sent chills down my spine. Because he was right. And if you listen, I don't know where it happened. I think it happened with the 80s, with the glam rock, all that kind of stuff. I don't know where it got separated. But I know when I get together with metalheads, when I get together with people rock, I never had that issue. I don't care what era it was. If we would sit and guys would have their mixtape. If you said you're into do you like Wasp? Do you like Iron Maiden? You know what? You walk up to a kid in the 80s, just like Eddie from Stranger Things, and the dude was wearing a Somewhere in Time or t-shirt, and you think that's cool. What's that? And a guy starts playing it, and you're like, wow, this sounds great. That's all it took. That's all it took. We didn't ask each other, all these stupid things. We didn't. It could be a Mexican dude. It could be a Chinese dude. We're all sitting at the table. We're all sitting at the table listening to this one guy's radio that we had, and we're all sitting there listening to this. That's how it was, and I don't know where it got broken up, because when you listen to the old heads, when you listen to Tony Iommi, when you listen to even Ted Nugent, who's a psycho, you listen to all the people who came up and that are the driving forces in this musical style, they will tell you it belongs to everyone. Heavy metal belongs to everyone. there's not a person that's playing these guitars today in any of these rock bands that does not draw their lineage back to B.B. King, Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, we're just as much a part of this musical form as anybody else. I don't know how it became a white thing, if it ever did in certain places. But when he said that, it sent chills up my spine. I wish I could bring up the quote if somebody has it. I mean, because I know I saved it because it was part of a meme. In metal. What was the quote? Can we play this? No, I think I can play this. If I get cut off, I get cut off because this is really something I really want to play. Share screen. Alright.
Headbanger and guitar player for 6.5 years. Ah, I did groups. Wait a minute, 16.5. Starting at 10.5. Yeah, all right. I did groups like Metallica, Slayer, Iron Maiden, Testament, Megadeth. No Motorhead I see. Love, hate, just about any good kick-ass metal band. My problem is, since I'm black, other blacks put me down and say that I'm a disgrace to the colour. Tell them to shove it, boy. Jimi Hendrix did all right, remember? Pisses me off because my dad feels the same way. Most of the time we just tell these people to die off, but I don't know how to handle my dad. My mum is real cool about it. Well, women usually have more sense than men, tell you. But what should I do about my dad? I'll write you a letter, man, because you might not be watching the TV because there's white people on it, you know. Being like that about another colour is the same as Hitler was about being Jewish and about other colours. You cannot be just one colour. If the bloody thing is ever going to work out properly, then we all have to intermarry and screw each other blind and get to be coffee-ish. But then we'd still find people that were lighter than those guys, right? You can't win with that one, but you can win by just doing it. Tell them to go to hell, right? They want to keep you safe and warm in the black community. And if the black community can't handle you, shut them. Go someplace else. Little Richard, when he had his first hits, he was ostracized completely, an outcast by the blacks. They all said, oh, he's sold out. He didn't sell out. He was playing the music he liked, and white people liked it. You know, should you be penalized for giving people joy? Screw them. Do what you want.
Okay, so, and not only is he addressing the one issue, he is addressing something I've gone through. You know, because my dad was a Motown dad. That's all they listened to. And you would have black people in your community that would look at you like, what is going on with you? Because they, like everyone else that looked a different way, didn't understand that this music belonged to us just as much as any music. You have black people that are in country music. You have black people that are in all kinds of stuff. But for some reason, you know, ethnic groups, blacks look on blacks, you know, and certain people look at like it's not something they're supposed to be listening to. And you can't put it any more stark than he put it. You're listening to something you like, and if your community can't handle it, then hey, that cannot be the determining factor of what you get enjoyment out of. And it wasn't for me. Thank God I found the people that I found when I was in school, when I was in junior high, when I was in 6th grade, high school. The music was so out there that anybody who listened to it was automatically part of a brotherhood that everybody else was going to look at like, what the hell is that you guys are playing? And like I said, what he said is right. That's why I played it, because I don't think I could have said it any better than Lemmy did. So, yeah, I love that video. All right, Larry, you were there. All right, we're going to skip over there. William, what's the best concert you've ever been to and the best concert experience? It's going to be that 1992, even though I think Guns N' Roses didn't sound as good as it could have. They didn't sound as bad as they did when I went to go see them years later. The 1992 October 3rd, Pasadena Rose Bowl, Guns N' Roses, Motorhead, and Metallica. Metallica was coming off of the Black Album. I would see them 2 years later in Vegas when they would do the box set Binge and Purge stuff. But Metallica was in promotion of the Black Album, and Guns N' Roses was in promotion of the Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 album, and Lemmy and Motorhead were just promoting the being Lemmy and Motorhead. At Point Dictionary, we see 90s black kids. We were told by everyone that black kids didn't do. I got grilled by black kids for having Nirvana shirt. Yeah, I got torn apart, dude. I got torn apart because I didn't listen to rap. And I did listen to rap. I listened to Public Enemy. I listened to NW. I listened to rap. But it just, and even today, I listen, there's a lot of stuff. I'm all over the place. If I ever laid out my musical list, my playlist to you guys, you would not believe what's on it. But it's just, it doesn't do what heavy metal does for you, aggression-wise metal. For me, all music is subjective. But I just got what I needed out of that form of music. And I just don't know where it just became a non-black thing. And like Lemmy said, Hendrix is just fine. And you know what? Just about every heavy metal person that popped up through the 80s had 3 or 4 people that they on their playlist that they copied from, and Hendrix was number one. Pete Townsend of The Who was upstaged by Jimi Hendrix. He's one of the greatest guitarists ever. And he was so pissed that he had to come on in the Monterey Pop stage. He was so pissed that after Hendrix burnt the guitar, he had to come on the stage after that. That's how much Hendrix meant to the genre. So I don't know where it became, but like I said, we had to deal with it in our own community. You listen to heavy metal, you were a weirdo. But guess what? I was already a weirdo. I am a weirdo to this day. So I guess, I was being true to form. But yeah, and Nirvana, I was damn into Nirvana. Oh, man, In Utero, and I will always say that from 1993 to 1998 were the best 5 years in music. The post-grunge era that came out and all those bands came out, all those grunge eras came out with their second and third albums that were better than their first. All right, Versus was better than 10. In Utero was better than the 2 previous albums that Nirvana had put out. Melancholy and Infinite Sadness was way better than Siamese Dream. And Super Unknown was better than anything, the Bad Motorfinger, or anything else that was coming out then. So the cool thing as time has gone on, we've gotten a little bit better with these things. It wasn't as bad as it was in the 90s. When Living Color came out with Cult of Personality, that was a big deal because black people weren't being put in the forefront. Another thing that helped is Ice-T. Dude, I almost got fired at Walmart when I was working at Walmart one night years and years ago when I played There Goes the Neighborhood, the uncensored version. Holy cow. You want to see some shit hit the fan. Ice-T didn't give a fuck about what people thought about black people being in metal. He was going to do, and Body Count was great. Still is. But in the mid-90s, Body Count was great. You listen to There Goes the Neighborhood, you're looking to beat someone's ass. And they may not deserve it. So, yeah, I don't understand it. I only had the audio cassette, but I didn't want to take anything. Oh, okay, you're talking about Turtles. I do not want to see that. What exactly am I being canceled for unless you're talking about Sebastian Bach stuff? Did I miss something there? Okay, I must have missed something. R.I.P. Lemmy, he was awesome. Got to see him live with Motorhead before he passed. Yeah, like I said, that's one of those things that, damn it, I'm glad I did that. Same thing with Van Halen. I got to see Van Halen with the lineup that I prefer of Van Halen, with Sammy Hagar in front before Eddie passed away. All right, exactly. Yeah, it should not be. Yes, he was. And you know what? People treated him like it, boy. Even people who weren't into Motorhead treated Lemmy like he was a god. And he never thought of himself as one. When you hear him talk, and just like right now, he was just giving straight from the heart advice. And that's and I'm glad, and I hope we wrote that kid. This was years ago. I hope we wrote that kid back, and I want to look up and see if that kid ever got that letter and how it changed his life. All right, it's a communal experience. It sure as hell is, man. What? What do you mean we can't believe everything we do on the internet? Come on, the hell fun is that? All right, let's see. Load. Master highlighter. I'm looking on the Streamlabs thing because I'm trying to run the show from there. You guys can't see it now because I haven't. I'm not. I don't feel safe yet, but I have everything going through there right now because that's where we're gonna switch. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Hello. That's not French. We were. I know what you mean. I trust you. I was a '90s black kid. I understand. Let's see. And bands dropped off their tour because your fans were like, "What the fuck?" Okay, you guys are talking. I know what you guys are talking about, but I don't want to jump into that. If you guys want to talk about that amongst each other, that's cool. Uh, what was he? Oh, all right. I hope you're trolling me for it. Was that before he played? Oh yeah, before, because he played Tank Girl was in '94. Body Count came out in '92. When we lost our gangster. Come on, man. Yeah, I know he's a cop now on TV for 20 years, ironically, which is hilarious. He went to prison. Okay. Yeah, Nine Inch Nails has some, even Johnny Cash respected Nine Inch Nails. William, that kid is me. That's me too. It's me too. Oh, fourth with that letter? We're gonna have to bring you on. I want to see the return letter from Lemmy. You should have that in glass if you got that. So, all right, guys, help. Anybody got anything else they want to get out of their system? Well, I still got these weekend allergy drugs running through my system. But I'm all positive everyone here should listen to the new Seven Dust album, Truth Killer, because of freaking rules. Okay. Can't hurt. Let's see. Oh, cool. So I see StreamYard just made some improvements. They needed to. All right, yeah. You know what? You only if I expected just to be on the air for about an hour, if we went more, that at some point we started talking heavy metal. That's one of those topics that does it. Heavy metal, wrestling, horror movies. You want to add 30 or 40 minutes on anything I'm doing, in person or online, you can bring up those topics and they'll always be there. Hell, we were talking about, remember a couple of months ago, we were talking about serial killers? I don't know where the hell that came out of. We talked serial killers for 90 minutes? Oh, my goodness. All right. All right, no confessions? Okay, good, because I don't have to testify. All right, guys, that's about it. I'm going to go let this, not a gentleman. I'm going to go let this allergy. That's not Benadryl tonight, so I'm not drowsy. But I am going to go ahead and lay down after I eat this orange chicken. And because we got a long day tomorrow as far as the Sci-Fi Center goes. Lots of stuff to give away. Lots of stuff to get ready for. And then we got our overnight show tomorrow. Also, we'll be talking SummerSlam because that'll be just ending as I'm going on the air. Also, I'm going to talk New Japan G1 for all my wrestling geeks out there. We'll talk more metal. We'll talk whatever you guys want to talk. And plus, I got some topics that I think will engage, and we'll have our storyline, our turning point storyline. I haven't quite decided what it is. Last week we did Age of Apocalypse, and then we did Mutant Massacre the week before. So I might pick one from DC because DC has a lot of good storylines that I think changed the game, and a lot of good storylines that I think restored certain characters to their certain points of light. So I'll put that up on the thumbnail. I should have that ready for you guys tomorrow night. So tomorrow night around 9:00, we're going to go overnight, and then we're going to give away some Transformer stuff. live, some Transformers digital codes, and like I said, I'll hand it over to you guys at some point. But tomorrow night should be a pretty lengthy show. So let's see. I got to see Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson. Oh, Huntridge. Oh, dude. Huntridge is they're rebuilding it. For those of you guys who don't live in Las Vegas, Huntridge Theater was built back in the 40s. It's one of the oldest. It is the oldest performance venue here in Las Vegas. It was down and out for a while. They're rebuilding it, but I saw plenty of bands there. I do think I was at that Nine Inch Nails, if I can remember. I think this was in. Was this in '95, Clint? If it was '95, I think I was there. I might have been there. It's a while. I mean, me and Clint are both old. So all right, guys, that's it. Beto Joe should be around that. Somebody probably already has that name as a band, but if I did have a band, it would be Beto Joe or Frappuccino, one of the two. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow.